Hello everyone, welcome back to the series of complete DSA using Python, specially designed for data science and artificial intelligence. This is the second class of this series, and today we will cover the introduction to algorithm. We will cover the definition of the algorithm, various properties of the algorithm, and then we will solve some gate DA practice question. So let's start with the definition of the algorithm. So here is the definition of the algorithm. I have taken it from the Corman book. Corman book is the Bible for the algorithm. I have taken it from there itself. So let me read this definition. An algorithm is a set of instructions which may take some input and produce the required output. So the definition is simple, is saying that algorithm is a set of instruction which may take some input and give us the output. This definition actually is having two important properties of the algorithm. First property is this, and second property is this. So what this first property is saying that? First property is saying that input in any algorithm might be there, might not be there. Input is not compulsory. This is what they are saying. Input is not compulsory. Input may be there, may not be there. For example, you might have seen some softwares which are not taking any input from the user, just they are showing the output. Okay, they want to show some information, they are showing it, but they are not taking any input from the user. So input is not compulsory. Okay, input may be there, may not be there. So I can write 0 or more input can be there in any algorithm. What about the output? What do you think? Output is compulsory or not? Output is compulsory. Why? Because if output is not there, then what's the use of that software? I don't see anyone is saying that, okay, please develop a software for me and I don't want any output. This might happen that, okay, they don't want to display the things, but data will be processed and they want the data to be stored in some database. So output that is also the output if we are storing the data into database. So output is compulsory. Output is compulsory for every algorithm. So I can write one or more output. So these were the two important properties of the algorithm. I have written one more definition. Here is the another definition. This definition is written by me. Actually, I just tried to add some other properties of the algorithm in this definition. You can write your own definition just by adding some important properties of the algorithm in one or two lines. What do you mean by definition? Definition means one or two lines which is having most important property of that thing. So here also I added some other properties of the algorithm in this definition. So let me read this second definition of the algorithm. An algorithm is a combination of unambiguous instructions, one property, which take finite steps, another property of the algorithm, to solve a problem in finite amount of time, third property. Three more property I have added in this definition. What do you mean by unambiguous instruction? So every instruction in the algorithm should be unambiguous, means one statement should have one meaning. That should not have more than one meaning. Every statement should have one meaning. For example, okay, if I'm writing A is equal to, let's suppose 5.1 and B is equal to maybe 2.4, and if I ask you what is the C value, can you reply please? What is the C value? What do you think? What is the C value? I'm just adding A and B and storing in C. Some people might think that the value of C is 7.5. Some people may think like this way also. They may say that value of C can also be 7. Actually, the value of C depends upon the data type. And here I don't define the data type of C. So any of them can be the value of C. So single statement have multiple meanings. This single statement have multiple meaning, which is not allowed in algorithm. Every statement should have one meaning. This is ambiguous statement, which is not allowed. unambiguous instructions are only allowed, which have only one meaning. I can convert it into unambiguous by defining the data type of C. So fine, okay. This is another property that, okay, instruction should be unambiguous. Another property is the every algorithm takes the finite steps to execute and a finite amount of time to execute. Let me show you by one example. So for example, I is equal to 5. I'm writing a loop over here. I value is less than, let's suppose, 10. And I'm printing, okay, I'm printing the I value. So can you tell me, okay, how much steps this algorithm will take to execute, or how much time this algorithm will take to execute? So let me write the instruction number. So this is first instruction, while loop is the second instruction, and print statement is the third instruction. So line of code, how many line of code we have here? 3. And if I ask you, okay, how many steps this algorithm will take to execute? This algorithm is actually taking infinite steps to execute. Okay, please note, this algorithm is not taking 3 steps to execute. 3 is a line of code over here. Okay, this algorithm is taking infinite steps. Why this is taking infinite step? Okay, because we are not incrementing the I value. I value remains same 5, and you will keep moving inside this loop. Okay, you will keep printing this I value 5 again and again. That will remain less than 10 only. So this is taking infinite steps. So number of steps here is infinite. And note one thing that, okay, this is not equal to line of code. Both are different thing. Line of code is different thing, which is just showing how many instructions we have inside the code. But number of steps is how many steps these instructions are taking to execute, and this loop will keep executing infinite time. So this is taking infinite steps to execute. So this code is taking infinite steps as well as infinite time to execute. This will keep executing. Okay. So first of all, I can say that, okay, this is not an algorithm at all. This is not an algorithm because this is not satisfying the properties of the algorithm. These two properties are not satisfied over here. This code is taking infinite time and infinite steps to execute. So if any of the property, we have 5 property with us. One is this. There may be input, there may not be input. Output is compulsory. Third property is unambiguous instruction. Fourth one is finite step. Fifth one is finite amount of time. So any of the property is violated, then I can say that this is not an algorithm. Okay. So this is not an algorithm, although you can call it as a program. So program may take infinite time to execute, infinite steps to execute. So there is a difference between program and algorithm. Algorithms always take finite time and finite steps to execute, but program may take infinite time and infinite steps to execute. Might be in your college lab, you must be writing some codes and they get stuck in infinite loop. So program can stuck in infinite loop, but algorithm always take the finite steps and finite time to execute. Algorithms are the blueprint of the program. Okay. One more thing I can add over here is that another property I can add of the algorithm. Algorithms are language independent. Okay. So they are not fixed to any fixed language. You can write the algorithm in English or in Hindi. Usually people write as a pseudocode, which is a mix of math and English. Programs are language dependent. You must be writing it in some language like Python, Java, whatever. So this might be another difference between program and algorithm. Fine, okay. So in this slide we discuss the 5 important, even 6 important properties of the algorithm. First one is this, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth one is that, okay, algorithms are language independent and programs are language dependent actually. Fine, okay, so we covered the different properties of the algorithm. Now let's move on. Let me move on and it's time for the exam. So let's practice some GATE DA questions over here. One advice, please try these questions yourself first. Pause the screen and try yourself. This will help us to learn better way. After that, okay, you can see the solution also. So let me move to the question. First GATE practice question we have with us. Let me read the statement. An algorithm fails to terminate in some cases. Okay, if algorithm fails to terminate in some cases, they are asking which algorithm property is violated. Which property will be violated out of this if algorithm is not stopping. So if that is not stopping, then that will take infinite steps to execute, infinite time to execute actually. And that property is this C1, finiteness. Finiteness is not there in this statement, in this algorithm, because that is not terminating. Okay, so answer should be C. Okay, so what about the other options? Language independent. So language do not have nothing to do with this. Output is also nothing to do with this anything. Definiteness means the same thing as unambiguity. Unambiguous. All the instructions should be unambiguous. One instruction should have one meaning. Okay, so this also don't have anything to do over here. If program is not stopping, that is taking infinite steps to execute. So answer should be C. We are violating this property of the algorithm. So let's check out. Yes, C is the right answer over here. Fine, okay. Let me move to the next GATE DA practice question. So here is the second GATE DA practice question. Let me read the problem statement. You are developing a machine learning algorithm for classifying the images. So we have one ML algorithm which is classifying the images. Fine. The algorithm gives different accuracy score when implemented in Python and R. Okay, they are saying that they have written one algorithm and this algorithm is giving different output, different accuracy score with different languages. And they are asking which algorithm property is violated. Which algorithm property is violated? If you have written an algorithm and that is giving different output with different languages, so that algorithm is not language independent. So this property is violated. We are violating this property of the algorithm. Algorithms are language independent. Once you have an algorithm, if you will execute on either on Python or R or on Java, whatever language, the output should be same. Okay, they are language independent. But here they are saying that okay, they are giving different accuracy score with different languages. So we are violating this B property. Okay, B is the right answer over here. Yes, B is the right answer over here. Fine, let me erase the screen and take the next GATE DA practice question over here. Let me read the problem statement. Which algorithm properties are violated? Okay, again we have algorithm properties with us and this code is given to us. They are asking which algorithm property is violated in the given code. So let me see this code. They define a function over here, one variable which is having 5 value. We are printing whatever we receive from this function. We are making a function call. Factorial is a function which is defined over here. We are passing in this function one parameter which is having 5 value. Okay, so this n is having 5 value. So let's see okay what this function is doing. And when n is 5, this condition is not satisfied. We come over here, we call this function again recursively. Okay, and we pass a parameter n plus 1, means 5 plus 1, 6 we will pass. So again we are calling this function from here. So it's a recursive call we are doing with 5 plus 1, 6 value. This condition will again not satisfied because n value should be 1 or 0. We come back over here. This time we will pass 7, 6 plus 1 and call this function again. Actually one thing I can notice over here, this will keep calling. we will keep calling this function again and again up to infinite, and this will not stop because we will not meet this base condition. Here you can see we are increasing the value, but we need 0 and 1 value. So at least one thing I can say, this code will not stop. This will take infinite steps to execute, infinite time to execute. So which property is violating? We are violating in this code. This code is not taking finite time. This code is not taking finite steps. So these two properties are violated. B and C should be the right answer. Let's see. Yeah, B and C is the right answer over here. Okay, you can update this code. You can correct it by updating this statement by n-1. Actually, this is the recursive program for finding the factorial of a number. So if you write n-1 in place of n plus 1, this code will work very fine. For this question, B and C is the right answer. We are violating these two properties because this code is not stopping at all. Let's move on. Let me erase it and move on. Oh, that's it for this session. We will meet back in next class. Make sure you subscribe and like this channel.